Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan warned about the potential for a new war with Azerbaijan, accusing Baku of committing genocide in the Nagorno-Karabakh region. Despite mediation efforts by the European Union, United States, and Russia, peace talks have made minimal progress. Prime Minister Pashinyan emphasized that without a signed and ratified peace treaty between the two countries, the likelihood of a new war with Azerbaijan remains high. Recently, tensions escalated as Azerbaijan temporarily closed the Lachin Corridor, the only road connecting Karabakh with Armenia. According to Armenians, this closure raised serious concerns about a potential humanitarian crisis in the region, where shortages of food, medicines, and power supplies have been experienced. According to Prime Minister Pashinyan, the situation in Karabakh is not just a preparation for genocide, but an ongoing process of genocide. He accused Azerbaijani forces of establishing a ghetto in the Karabakh region. The increasing diplomatic involvement of the European Union and the United States in the Caucasus region has caused discomfort for Russia, the traditional power broker in the area. Since the dissolution of the Soviet Union, Armenia has been dependent on Russia for military and economic assistance. Yerevan has accused Moscow of not fulfilling its peacekeeping role in Karabakh, which was established under a ceasefire brokered by Moscow in 2020. Invasion in Ukraine has been cited as a reason for its perceived failure to effectively carry out its peacekeeping responsibilities in the Karabakh region. Following the unsuccessful peace talks in Brussels, Prime Minister Pashinyan asserted that both the Western countries and Russia must intensify their efforts to exert pressure on Baku. The goal is to persuade Azerbaijan to lift its blockade of Nagorno-Karabakh. According to Pashinyan, the advancement in the peace talks is being hindered by Azerbaijan's persistent aggressive rhetoric and hate speech directed towards the Armenians. He further accused Baku of pursuing a policy of ethnic cleansing in the region. After a 6-week-long conflict in 2020, deadly border clashes have persisted between the former Soviet republics despite a ceasefire brokered by Russia. During this time, Azerbaijan has managed to capture some areas of land. Prime Minister Pashinyan has stated that Armenia's red lines during talks with Baku are related to the preservation of Armenia's territorial integrity, sovereignty, and the rights and security of the Armenians living in Nagorno-Karabakh. These issues are of utmost importance for Yerevan in the negotiation process. Nagorno-Karabakh has been the focal point of a long-standing conflict between the two countries, which have engaged in two wars to assert control over the region. These wars occurred in the 1990s and again in 2020, resulting in the loss of thousands of lives on both sides. As part of the Russian-mediated ceasefire agreement, Armenia had to finish control of significant territories it held for around 3 decades. This agreement marked a significant shift in the territorial dynamics of the region. In order to facilitate unrestricted movement between Armenia and Karabakh, Moscow dispatched peacekeeping forces to the Lachin Corridor. Pashinyan acknowledged that Armenia's situation is challenging because Azerbaijan perceives Armenia's involvement in the peace process as an infringement on Azerbaijan's territorial integrity. This perception adds complexity to the negotiations and resolution of the conflict. In May, as part of the Western-mediated talks, Yerevan agreed to acknowledge Nagorno-Karabakh as part of Azerbaijan. However, they requested the implementation of international mechanisms to safeguard the rights and security of the region's ethnic Armenian population. On the other side, Azerbaijan President Ilham Aliyev has emphasized that his country is actively engaged in the significant task of removing landmines, as there are over 1 million buried in various territories of Azerbaijan. He criticized Armenia for providing a map that only covers about 400,000 of these mines, suggesting that it is an incomplete effort. President Aliyev made these remarks during the Shusha Global Media Forum. He highlighted the devastating consequences of the landmines as they have resulted in the death or serious injury of more than 300 people since the end of the war. Aliyev expressed his frustration with Armenia's failure to present comprehensive maps detailing the locations of these landmines. He sees this lack of cooperation as a continuation of Armenia's hostile actions against Azerbaijan. As of now, there has been no response from Armenia to his comments. In the beginning of 2023, Armenia declined to host routine military exercises organized by the Collective Security Treaty Organization, signaling the increasing tensions between Yerevan and Moscow. The annual drills involving 6 member states, including Russia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan, were scheduled to be held in Armenia. However, Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan strongly criticized the Russian peacekeepers' actions in the region, prompting the decision to forego the exercises on Armenian soil. Pashinyan conveyed that given the current circumstances, it would be impractical to proceed with the CSTO exercises in Armenia this year, and he communicated this stance to the CSTO joint staff. In response, Moscow has urged Armenia to clarify its position on the matter. Pashinyan has always criticized the Russian peacekeepers for their unsuccessful initiatives to provide free transit along a corridor linking Armenia and Nagorno-Karabakh. The Lachin province was the last of 3 areas that Armenian soldiers surrendered in the last war. Russia has sent 2,000 peacekeeping forces to provide safe transit and monitor the peace deal. Since December 2022, travel through the Lachin area has been obstructed by individuals claiming to be environmental activists from Azerbaijan. They assert that Armenia has unlawful mining sites in the region, leading to their actions in blocking the passage. Armenia has urged Russian peacekeeping forces to unblock the road, but Moscow has taken a passive approach to the dispute, leaving the Armenian government frustrated and dissatisfied. Pashinyan said Russia's military presence in Armenia not only fails to guarantee its security, but it raises security threats for Armenia. We will not share the destiny of Ukraine. He further emphasized that the blockade of the Lachin Corridor is a deliberate attempt to shatter the resolve of the people of Nagorno-Karabakh. Armenia intends to seek support from the United States and the European Union to help de-escalate tensions with Azerbaijan. Pashinyan has issued multiple warnings to the international community, expressing his concerns that the focus on the conflict in Ukraine could potentially jeopardize the stability of the South Caucasus region. Since the outset of the Russian invasion in Ukraine, he has been vocal in criticizing Putin's stance. Pashinyan made it clear that Armenia would never support or facilitate the transfer or deployment of foreign terrorist fighters to Ukraine through its territory. Russia finds itself in a challenging position as it has been unable to effectively address the ongoing problem. Despite this, Russia has been hesitant to allow Western countries to intervene and mediate in resolving the standoff. Instead, it seeks to maintain its dominant role in the region, using its influence to further its own regional interest. Various economic and strategic factors have bound Moscow to Turkey and its ally Azerbaijan. Facing sanctions from the West and strained relations with several economic partners, Russia has increasingly relied on Turkey for trade and evasion of sanctions. Turkey has emerged as a significant facilitator for the export of Russian oil and gas and the import of strategic technologies, many of which are prohibited by the Western countries. As a result of the growing proximity between Russia and Turkey, Moscow has shown reluctance to make pressure on Azerbaijan regarding its actions against Armenia. The close ties between Russia and Turkey have influenced Russia's approach towards Azerbaijan's behavior, leading to a more restrained stance.